Ayuk right, they motion McCaffrey, backwards pass to McCaffrey, and he's going to throw downfield wide open. Brandon Ayuk, touchdown! San Francisco! He can run, he can catch,
getting on fire!
Christian McCaffrey can throw! Now they go empty, and McCaffrey goes right. It is Garoppolo looking. Garoppolo under pressure, throws to the back of the end zone. Caught by Christian McCaffrey. Touchdown! CMC!
Dynamite!
One, just got it snapped in time. Inside handoff. McCaffrey finds a crack. Gets wide. 10, 5, 10. No, he got nailed on the goal line. Is he in? He's right on the goal line. What a run by Christian McCaffrey! They're going to give it to McCaffrey coming left. McCaffrey, touchdown!
Hey.
Breezy,
Mo's Nose, Season 3, PG, Fear the Dog. It's about that time, everybody turn your TVs on. The Mo's Nose, Peachy, Breezy, and Fear the God. They keep it nitty gritty when they bring you nine talk. We two gorilla, silverback, nah, silver.
You know it's busting the discussion cause we get it in. Every time you know we grinding, I was 8 to 10. We always play to win. The faithful going hard. It's Wayne, Breezy, Peachy, Mo's Nose, and Fear the God. Let's get it.
Nitty gritty, it's the lightest talk. Don't like it, better take a walk. Nitty gritty, it's the lightest talk. We outline players up in chalk. Nitty gritty, it's the lightest talk. Don't like it, better take a walk. Nitty gritty, it's the lightest talk. Nitty gritty, it's the lightest talk.
What's going on, faithful? The nitty gritty Niners talk is here. It is 1 a.m. on the East Coast, and we bringing you a live show after the 49ers got beat by the Chargers. What's going on, y'all?
What's up?
I don't think when we lose, it's a weird vibe. When we win, it's excited energy. But it's a preseason game. Does it carry this? Does it carry the same weight as a loss? Is a loss a loss? Just curious. Like, I don't like to lose. I watched Fred Warner get interviewed, and he didn't like to lose.
Nope.
So how do you guys feel about this L? Because we gotta take it.
When Fred was interviewed during the game and we was losing, he was not happy.
Now, he wasn't happy at all, Peachy.
No, he wasn't happy one bit.
Interesting.
Yep.
And I think it's the way we lost the game, too.
Yes.
Just unforced error. And it still seems that this deep into the preseason after training camp, we still got the same guys making the same bonehead mistakes.
Yep.
And then, Jordan Mason, he's running hard all first quarter. We get down into the red zone at the goal line, and he fumbles trying to punch it in. So I think it's the way we lost. I think if we didn't have, those unforced errors and we just got beat because it's a preseason game and maybe the Chargers, third and fourth string guys are playing just a little bit harder than us, then I think we could take it. But I think it's how we lost too that kind of, with everything else going on, puts a sour taste in your mouth.
Is it fair to say that our third or fourth string guys may not just be that good, or we just didn't play hard enough? Because last time I checked, they're trying to make a roster spot. Everybody trying to make a spot on the roster. 53-man cut is up this upcoming Tuesday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I don't know if I saw too many guys trying to make this roster, yo. I don't know if I got that. Peachy, what did you get from the second half and beyond? Because the first half we kind of knew how it was gonna be, but the second half and beyond, like, who stood out to you? Then give me one player that probably stood out to you. Off the top, if you got to think about it, that's tough. Because I'm thinking too.
That's what I'm saying. TDP.
Yeah, they split the carries. Jordan Mason, TDP. You did see the newly signed Brian Hill get a few reps. We'll go over that in a second. TDP
Yeah.
stood out.
Yeah, you can tell that TDP has gotten better. He has definitely gotten better. So that was a real good thing to see.
What about you, Mose? Who kind of like stood out after the second half?
For me, Isaiah Winstead, I like him a lot.
I don't know, man.
I like him a lot.
Big receiver.
Yup.
2 targets, 2 receptions, 32 yards.
Yup.
I just don't see. Well, you got the injury. Injury. Well, there's an injury.
We do have the injury, but I don't see him, making the roster. I think we're too deep in that particular position group.
Yes.
So I hope he makes the practice squad.
Yeah, I think he will. I think he's
good. He definitely stood out for me.
He was a sleeper guy. No one kind of like knew about him. He put his film out there. No one paid attention. The 49ers went fishing. They reeled him in. He didn't get much playing time, which is kind of like with the Niners MO. So like I'm curious to see. They'll probably cut him and then sign him quickly. He'll probably be the first name on the practice squad. Because the 49er receivers are dropping like flies, man.
They are.
They make a catch, they get hurt. They run a route, they get hurt. They don't play, they get hurt. How you get? Never mind. Never mind. JP hella hard. What's going on? 2,800. Member for 3 months. You get the air horn, bro. Since we got dominated in the trenches all night. Chargers running the ball 10 times in a row. Oliver ain't it. Also found out I got another king on the way. Congratulations, man.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
On the way. I said, man, it's always good. We can add another baby faithful to the family. So,
amen.
It is.
Congratulations to our brother. That's amazing.
Blessings, fam. Listen, let's start with we got dominated in the trenches.
Oh yeah, we definitely did.
Where y'all want to start? Because I thought both trenches. Did we give up any sacks in this game? No. Wait a minute. The San Francisco 49ers offensive line didn't give up any sacks. I didn't see a sack.
That's good.
I
didn't see one, and there is not one on the stat sheet.
Well, hell me, kick me. The Niners offensive line, will we call that a thumbs up? Is that an improvement? Like, what are we doing here? Because when they do stuff, we get on them. Yeah. 0 sacks. We did have some penalties, though.
That was.
See, I would say that the 49ers offensive line is trending in an upward motion. Even the depth got better. So if they didn't give up any sacks, I would say the depth got better. We got a couple of super chats. Let's get to the Foghorns real quick. CJ, Mo's got a look on his face like, damn, the Cowboys though. I feel like we need to address the real elephant in the room. I feel like we can't have this show without addressing it. I know people want to talk. I don't think people care about this preseason game. I'm gonna be honest with you, because 2 hours prior to the kickoff, there was some breaking news that went down, and we're not gonna say we didn't see it coming, but I don't think I saw it coming. We didn't see this coming. And I didn't see this coming this fast. I thought he would be gone by week 1. That was my guess. He was gone preseason week 3. So let's talk about it. Trey Lance getting traded to the Dallas Cowboys per Adam Schefter for a 4th round pick. I need y'all takes, man. I need to know how you feel. I did an overreaction video. I'm curious to know how you guys feel. You heard John Lynch in this game kind of talk about how they loved him and he was good and this is that and the third, but if was the 5th with a fair safe, ifs was a 5th, we ought to be drunk or something. Like I just felt like that was kind of like cleaning up things. But let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about the Trey Lance situation, like how you really feel, because I want to give you my spiel on it. Go ahead, Peachy. You go first.
I knew you was gonna do that. Wow. I'm glad that he's out of this mess. I am glad that he is. I am so fire hot mad because he went to Dallas though. Golly, like
Out of all the teams.
Jimmy Raiders, Trey the Cowboys. I was like, what in the world is going on here? I'm sad because there's a lot of narratives out there that are just not true. And I'm hoping that the least that Kyle can do maybe is clear up some of these crazy narratives, because some of these narratives that people are putting out here about that Trey was going to be last on this depth chart and it was going to have 4 quarterbacks. Like, I don't believe any of that. Like, I don't believe any of that at all.
Who put that narrative out? Because
Lombardi.
So Lombardi, did you watch Brandon Allen tonight? He looked like a 7th string quarterback.
It was ridiculous. Bro. It was really bad. And this team better hope, like this whole organization better hope, and the Niner faithful better hope that Brock Purdy is able to stay upright, which is what I pray that he is able to do that. Because, wow. I mean, Sam, like, when he first got out there, it looked like he didn't even know what football
ghosts.
was.
Right. I saw Pity Patty
feet.
Feet.
He was seeing ghosts again. Once he got settled in. But the thing that was funny was I was reading, like people's stuff on social media, and they're talking about how, once he got started, he was carving up the 3rd and 4th team. That's what he was carving up.
Oh, that's
once he got started.
Oh.
Because I remember the same people that are saying that it's no big deal because the new Cowboy was carving up this team, but then everybody wants to sit up there and talk about how, Sam just needs the reps and, he's out there, improving it. It's still the 3rd and 4th team he played against. You guys got to keep that in mind. And our first stringers that were out there, that was the 2nd team, because the Chargers' first team didn't even play tonight.
They weren't
even
team.
out there.
Wait, I didn't pay attention to who started our game. Was Trent Williams out there? I know CMC wasn't out there.
No, Trent.
All right, so
Trent didn't play. CMC didn't play. No, I get that. But what I'm saying is that every preseason game, with teams, there's somebody missing, for whatever reason. But it seems to be like that we got, slammed for trying to just big up Trey just for, going out there playing the way he did. And it was, the 3s and 4s. But then I see all these people on Twitter that were going crazy because Sam is up there, dicing this team. It's like, who is he dicing up? Because if he has to go out there and play, the only time he's gonna go out there and play is, God forbid, Brock gets hurt and then Sam has to go out there. And he's not gonna be playing against the 3s and 4s. He's gonna be playing against the 1s.
So the 49ers won with Trey but lost with Sam.
Yeah. But
well, look, there's a lot.
None of that matters.
None of it matters. Trey Lance is moving to Dallas. And Mose, what's your take on it? And then I'll give you my little spiel, because I know a lot of people feel like I'm angry, which I am. But there's other things. I have a light. There's a brighter side to things.
I mean, for me, man, like, it's one of those like bittersweet moments where it's like,
that's what it is.
For me, I said, he needs to get traded. I hope he gets traded. He goes to another team and, he gets a fresh start. But now that has happened, it's like, it's final. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Good.
Until it happened, there was still that small sliver
Slither of hope.
Mhm.
There it is.
just that little bit, like,
Mhm.
and I do not, let me reiterate this because people are always going to try to misconstrue everything that we say. I do not wish for any player for this team to get injured.
Oh no.
Ever.
But there was a small sliver of hope that if somebody gets injured and somebody else gets injured, that he would have an opportunity, and maybe that opportunity, just like how it happened to him, he could come in, catch fire, and win the job back. But once he got traded and the news came out that it's final, like whatever potential we thought we would see, whatever potential John and Kyle disseminated to us as fans that we would see on the trade, even them trading the assets to move up to get Trey Lance showed us that there was potential in this player. All of that is for nothing now, and it's over. So I was just walking around the house just like sighing and huffing and puffing, and my wife was like, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, "It's this Trey Lance thing. It's just like, it's over." And it's one of those situations where, like, you know it's over. You can't believe it's over. You got to move on. But, like, it's final. And it sucks.
Yeah. I was at my show. I just took a break and I had sat down, had my drink waiting for me. And as soon as I put my gluteus maximus into the seat, my watch was going off. I had left my phone on the stand, and my watch is going bzz, 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 and I'm like, what in the hell is going on? And so I'm looking at it, and I'm trying to scroll, and I'm reading, and it's just like Trey Lance is traded, and I'm like, oh man, ain't that some shit? They didn't even wait. They were, and then here's the report right now that came out from Rob Loader, and I want to read this joint because some people, there's a lot of stuff. Kyle Shanahan said that when he told Trey Lance that he was the third string quarterback, right? When he told him this, Trey said he wanted an opportunity to go somewhere he could be the backup. Damn, Trey didn't even want to be a starter. Like, damn. He wanted to go somewhere where he could be a backup. I don't like this mindset, but this is kind of like how they shaped him to be. You're a backup quarterback. That's kind of
Thank you for saying that,
it's kind of
because
fucked up, right?
They messed up his mind so bad to where he mentally probably feels like, I guess I'm just good enough to be a backup. And I hate that. And that's what I was talking about the other night on this damn show. Whenever we were talking and everybody thought that I was crazy. You do not know what that kid has been through. Like, nobody knows.
They don't care.
Mentally what he's been through.
Peachy, I'm understanding it's strictly business. Whatever player coach relationship they got, I mean, you got to be on the really, really good side of the coach to have that type of that relationship, like a Trent Williams, Kyle Shanahan, Deebo Samuel, Kyle Shanahan. I don't even think Nick Bosa got that type of relationship. They just respect him as a football player. But if they did, if the relationship was super tight, Nick Bosa would be here. That contract would have been done, right? I don't think it's like that. I think it's strictly business. And when you look at the Trey Lance situation, I'm like, yo, this is strictly business. And I get why the 49ers moved on. That I get it now.
Yeah.
He didn't fit. Boom. Enough said. All right, here we go. Trey Lance said he wanted an opportunity to go somewhere where he could be the backup. Shanahan then came out and said fourth rounder was more than they expected. So, like,
all right, that's some disrespectful ass shit.
Everybody is already saying that Kyle's full of shit. Like, what he's saying right now,
he's capping,
the whole
man.
entire thing. They're already saying that everything coming out of his mouth about this situation is that he is completely full of shit. Already.
All I'm saying is this is our head coach, and we support what he does with this team on the football field, and he's got but at the end of the day, I just don't think he's a really good human being. And this is kind of messed up. And I know a lot of people gonna watch this show, they're gonna be like, damn, they talk about Trey Lance again. He's not even on the team. Facts, he's not. He's traded. But now the real shit is starting to come out.
Exactly.
So like before they were like, oh yeah, we sending them home for the day. You ain't sending them home.
Right.
His ass told you to trade him.
Yes. And right here, Grant Cohn got, I guess, a good question he asked him. So Kyle said, I feel like I let Trey down. Sometimes things don't work out. So I guess there was like a bunch to that and all this stuff.
He want the pity party.
I don't believe anything. That's what I'm saying. I do not believe
Shut up.
anything. Just stop. Because this is absolutely ridiculous. And as far as the placement in Dallas, there will be competing. If you look at Dallas's pages, they will tell you that Cooper Rush and Trey Lance, that it will eventually be competing. That quarterback room with the QB2 and QB3 is not, I'm telling you.
He can't say that though.
I know.
The same like John Lynch, you can't say that on national TV.
Mm-hmm.
Like what he said, like nah. It's too late for that. He gone.
That's right.
Run it down for me. What did he say? Because my stream was the LA based stream and not the
let me get my tweet with my quote so I don't misconstrue what he said. So give me a second because I was tweeting.
Okay, while he's bringing that up, let me ask the chat a question. You are drafted at a high position and you come in here, the bad things happen and you get hurt and everything like that. And there's QB1, which is solid. Your quarterback played awesome when he came in. That's fine. But then you have a quarterback that comes from the outside that is really bad. Like on all the teams he's been bad. He was also drafted high. As a matter of fact, he's been horrific. And you have been in the playbook for 3 years, which means that no one probably knows the playbook better than you. Not even the quarterback that took over for the previous season. How the hell would you feel to find out that you're bumped to quarterback 3? While you sitting up here saying that that he got in his feelings and asked for a trade whenever he found out he was quarterback 3. Bitch, I would do the same thing. Okay? Because it wasn't just because of quarterback 3s, it's because he felt at that moment what this organization thought of him. So I'd want to get the hell out too. Why would you want to be somewhere where they don't want you? Because they're obviously telling you they don't want you here. You're out there on the practice field every day watching this newfound quarterback 2 play. And you know you're better than him. But you still find out that you're quarterback 3. Get out of here. I would be like, deuces.
I wish I could see how Trey like digressed. Like how did he go backwards? That's the only thing I wanted to know. Like I didn't see that. Like even after practice, he wasn't, even the one practice that I went to and all the practice reports that came out, Trey was kind of like the same type of quarterback like throughout the practice. And then when he was running with the 2s, and then even with the 3s, and even with the 1s, when he first started before Brock officially was like, on, he was pretty darn good. So I'm trying to figure out like how he went backwards in his progress. And then you look at what he did in the preseason game. So he had a shaky first preseason game and then a really good closeout, in my opinion, to the second preseason game. And now he's gone by the third preseason game. Look, this is what John Lynch said on trading Trey Lance. He says, really hard day. Such a wonderful young man. Always bigs up Trey's character because you can't demote his character. He's a really good guy, right? We took a shot and it didn't work out. We own that. So that's him trying to say we gave him an opportunity, but it didn't work out. and we failed him. That's kind of like what I got, which is what Kyle Shanahan, I guess, just said in the presser. And it's like, that's why I said like Trey Lance didn't fail the 49ers. Like, they failed him. Like, they couldn't develop him. That ain't Trey Lance's fault. He came in with he came with a set of skills. I won't even say a raw set of skills. He came in with a set of skills, and the coach decided not to sharpen those skills because Trey needed to fit the system. And that's what happened. And it's okay for those out there that don't like Trey Lance because they don't think he was a good quarterback. It's okay if he doesn't fit the system. It's okay to move on. It's like buying a pair of shoes you liked, and then you tried them on, you was good, and you get home and you wear them a couple times. You're like, yo, these shits don't feel comfortable. Or you can either give them away, you can sell them, or you just keep them underneath the bed or wherever you put your shoes. I get it. So I'm okay with that. What I'm not okay was the way they handled it, and I think that's my main issue. It's not that Trey Lance got traded or Trey Lance got treated, whatever. They just handled the issue so poorly. Mm-hmm. And if they don't do this for anybody else, I can't stop having questions about our organization. I can't. They gotta keep it the same shit for everybody. And if they do that, like right now, I don't see them giving any grief to Nick Bosa, and he ain't even here.
Not at all. Not even a little bit. And that's why my spiel that I had the other night, I mean every damn word of it, and I'm still not changing anything that I said. I don't care what anybody has to say. I do want to reiterate one thing that I did mention when we were on Nothing But Niners earlier, and Mose knows because he was on there too. All the people that are saying that we need to be more faithful, you weren't being faithful whenever you were rooting for Trey's downfall, whenever he was on this team. So you need to pick or choose. You need to pick. Are you going to be faithful for everybody? Because we are. I am ecstatic. Like, I was so happy to see how good Brock was out there and how in sync he is with that offense and everything like that. All I said was, y'all better hope that Brock Purdy don't go down, because we know the 49ers history.
Oh, if Brock Purdy goes down, we're fucked.
And
right. Sam Darnold ain't it. He's less than mid.
No, we know the 49ers history. I'm just hoping that we're going to have the 2019 year like we had with Jimmy, where Jimmy was healthy the whole season.
Right. Okay. I got
that is what I am praying for. Brock is doing a fantastic job, and he's just going to get better, and he's going to get better and better. But my whole thing is that what I don't like is I am a person too, and I'm allowed to have any feelings that I want, and I'm allowed to say anything that I want, because I buy tickets, I buy everything just like everybody else does. And we do shows and we produce shows and we do all these things just like everybody else does. And everybody else has an opinion. And we may not be big shots, but we know what we're talking about, because there are decades and decades of football with us three. So all I'm trying to say is, when you're sitting over here trying to tell somebody about their fandom, look in the mirror. Because the majority of you hated Trey so bad. Especially once Jimmy was gone. Like, you were so mad, and that's what you did.
I don't get why. But you know what? I don't want to keep prolonging this conversation because it's a whole nother topic.
It is. But that's fine.
Look, here's what I was gonna say about Trey Lance. I'm happy that he is no longer a San Francisco 49er. I'm happy that he is going to go to a team where he can compete for a spot, a fair competition, and I'm hoping that he succeeds in Dallas, like I do. I ain't even going to front. I'm hoping he plays week 5 at some point. I'm hoping week 5 against the San Francisco 49ers, that coach over there finds a way to get Trey Lance into the system and utilizes him.
Well, they're talking about possibly some packages just to get him kind of going, kind of like Taysom Hill.
Listen.
So to put him and Dak out there at the same time.
How come I watched Sam Darnold struggle, right, until the big throw? Ain't that Trey Lance? Isn't that Trey Lance? He struggles until he makes that one big throw, and then he gets into a rhythm. We just watched it, so it didn't make sense.
But even after that today, he made the one big throw, cool, but he didn't really get into a rhythm.
No, he didn't get into a rhythm. He did have a couple of passes. Look, I'm gonna keep it a buck with Sam about Sam. So you look at Sam Darnold's performance. It was mid, right?
Right.
He went 6'4", 11, 89 yards. His rating was 111.5. Didn't have any interceptions. He did have the touchdown. Okay, that touchdown is like film worthy touchdown. It was to the back of the end zone. It was a dart.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. Not gonna sit here and discount Sam Darnold on that, but his gameplay to me was still mid. I watched him be indecisive in the pocket, and don't fucking come at me with no pressure bullshit. I don't want to hear none about pressure because he wasn't sacked. He might have been pressured, but I don't want to hear it because we just not consistent as a fan base. Don't mention pressure. What? He was indecisive in the pocket. He had some really bad throws, but he did have a couple of drops. And then there was the offensive PI, pass interference as well. I think it was on Willie Snead. So, like, 3 of those 11 attempts may or should have been positive attempts for Sam Darnold. So, what's that? 9 for 11 should be what his stats are, but it's not. Yeah. It's not. That one, that touchdown was dope, and then the throw to Chris Conley was nice, but it's a go route. Like, that's a play that Kyle Shanahan. That was Trey Lance's play. That's what he used to do, but you stripped him from it, and you wanted him to do the underneath stuff. That's what made us confused. So you didn't. Never mind. Back to Sam Darnold. What were your thoughts on Sam Darnold?
Good, Mouse.
Like you said, he was mid. He didn't do anything. He did what he's been doing all of training camp, which would show me that this isn't by merit.
No, this is by choice.
He didn't earn the number 2 job by playing better than Trey. This is just what Kyle wants.
I can't wait till we break down this film. I'm getting the throws together as we speak.
This is just what Kyle wants. This is not by
I said
merit.
by choice, Mose.
Yeah.
This is you have player's choice. This is the coach's choice.
This is exactly what it is. This is exactly what it is. And call me a conspiracy theorist, call me grasping for straws, whatever you want to say. But I feel like there's more to it than that as well. I feel like there's something internal. I feel like there was a back and forth battle between John and Kyle of who they were going to pick when they traded up to 3. They both wanted somebody different. Ultimately, Kyle got what he wanted, whether he used the trump card of I control the roster, or he went to Jed, or whatever it was, whether he talked to Adam Peters and got Peters in his corner, whatever it was. He got what he wanted, but the deal was, if this doesn't work out, if this doesn't happen within this time period for us to figure out whether we want to pick up Trey's 5th-year option, you have to move on, and it's my guy. And maybe his secondary choice was, maybe John's secondary choice was Brock. And with the way Brock played last year, Kyle had no choice but to give in because of whatever handshake agreement they made when he decided to go with Trey. I don't know. I feel like there's something more to it. Because that performance today from Sam Darnold
it wasn't quarterback 2-ish. It damn sure wasn't close to being quarterback 1.
No.
And it didn't even merit to be it looked like a quarterback 3 play.
Yeah. It looked like I'm struggling to make an NFL roster.
But he knew when he signed he had the job in the bag.
Again, I feel like all of this has been orchestrated. I figure whatever Kyle said to his agent to get the deal done and to bring him here.
They have the same agent, right?
Yup, which is why Sam didn't go on many other visits, if any other visit.
Interesting.
This was the plan all along. After the way Brock played, whatever handshake agreement him and John had, that was the plan. Okay, Brock is my quarterback, but who is my backup? Because we're moving on from Trey. And I need to get somebody who I feel like can run my system.
Wait, what? Okay, hold on. And now people shocked after what the fuck happened to Jimmy? Jimmy wasn't allowed to compete.
Not being allowed to compete.
When did Jimmy not be allowed to compete? What fucking 49ers were you watching? Jimmy was the starting quarterback all the time he was here, except for the year that they were going to try to trade his ass. And then when they brought him back, they had already moved forward with Trey Lance. What are you talking about?
Right. They brought him back late because they couldn't find anybody to trade.
Because he was hurt.
But see, that's the problem. They botched that whole situation.
The 49ers are botching situations, bro.
And I see what he's saying, but he's trying to spin it that like we're putting too much on Trey. But here's the problem. All of our issues are with the organization. So if you're going to say this cynically obnoxious, also say that it was the organization that botched it with Jimmy. So we're upset, but we really shouldn't be surprised because how they treated Trey and how they tried to exile him is the same way they tried to exile Jimmy Garoppolo.
They did exile him.
And they botched that. And Jimmy and his agent said, we're going to make your life a living hell for treating me like this. And I'm going to say that I'm injured to nix any opportunity that you have to trade me and get compensation. And when we got to this point of the season and there was no suitor for Jimmy Garoppolo, how did Kyle and John and the front office try to spin this shit to us to make us believe that it was the best situation for the organization?
Yep.
Well, we're moving forward with Trey. He's our starting quarterback, but Jimmy has been really good too, and he's won a lot of games for us. So you know, we have Trey, but then we also have a great backup option in Jimmy Garoppolo, they were as good as done with Jimmy Garoppolo.
I don't understand why people don't.
Jimmy
remember.
Literally had a farewell press
exit speech.
He had an exit interview.
It was an exit speech. What rock are y'all sleeping under? Jimmy left and Kyle publicly said, yes. Oh, we're moving on. Exactly. This is Trey's team. That's what happened.
Exactly
and continue to throw subliminal shots Jimmy's way, saying that we want quarterbacks that can stay healthy and that can stay on the field. Kyle was all but done with this guy. And then tried to make it seem, oh, well, I'm happy. But no, you're not.
I tell you what, Trey Lance was going to get
y'all.
Trey Lance was getting the same treatment Jimmy Garoppolo got.
Yeah, and
that's exactly what's about to happen.
One other huge thing that came out after Jimmy went to Raiders, so I think that this was very interesting is the NFC Championship game.
Hold on, PG. Hold on 1 second. Start to cut you off. I never said he faked it or lied about it. But when he said that he was injured and needed to get surgery, when he reported it, it was around the time that they were trying to trade him, which means if a player is injured, he can't be traded. Teams are not going to trade for a player that is injured when they don't have a timetable of when he's going to return. And he did not release his timetable, and they gave the craziest timetable. He could be back in 3 weeks. He could be back in 6 months. They gave the largest span of a time frame. So nobody said he faked it or lied about it. But when he decided to get surgery to fix the injury, best believe that was a shot at the 49ers. That was a strategic move to throw that shit in their face and to make it harder for them to trade him. Nobody said he faked it.
We talked about this many moons ago.
Ad nauseum. Like, what are we
that's what it was. Like, Jimmy was fleecing the Niners because the Niners tried to fleece him.
Exactly. And he also fleeced them again in the NFC Championship game because it came out when Jimmy went to the Raiders that he told them that if we made it to the Super Bowl, that he would be available for the Super Bowl. Then he was not playing in that NFC Championship game. And that was what the nail in the coffin was. And that's why Kyle and John was acting so gruff the way they were about Jimmy. Because he said that he would only play if we made it to the Super Bowl. So if we were able to get out that Philly game with Brock being hurt and,
Jimmy was going to suit up.
Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He was going to suit up for the Super Bowl. He was not going to suit up for the
another
NFC
week
Championship
off.
game.
Yep.
That's right.
Yes, he did. That came out of Jimmy Garoppolo's
and
mouth.
I think that
on the
Kyle
Raiders
was pissed off about that because I'm sure that he wanted him to be one of the quarterbacks they had out there for the NFC Championship game because you never know. Well, I'm sure he'd rather have him out there than Josh Johnson. And he said that he would be ready if we made it to the Super Bowl, that he'd be ready to start the Super Bowl.
Here's the thing, guys. You have to get. Look, we're accepting the fact that Trey Lance and the 49ers have moved on from one another. I want everybody to understand that. We've accepted the fact that Brock Purdy is our quarterback. We've never once took shots at Brock Purdy.
No.
Ever. So all we're asking and praying, not even asking, we're praying that Brock is healthy because the quarterback room, in my opinion, has just gotten weaker.
Facts.
Yep.
So God forbid if something happens to our Brock, the Brock Star, the Brockinator, the Brock Bonelia, whatever you want to call the motherfricker. If something happens, Brock Purdy, if something happens to him, I'm a little nervous about the 49ers continuing that trajectory for the Lombardi. That's all I'm saying. That's all we're saying, y'all. I want y'all to understand. So now that you moved on from a first-round draft pick that you failed, that you chose to not cater around because you wanted him to fit exactly whatever, which is fine. Hey, if that is our coach's preference, cool. It took me a minute to accept that, but fine. That's the type of teacher he is. That's the type of coach he is. I get it. Most coaches are probably like that. I think Ron Rivera, when he was in Carolina, said, "Well, F my style. Come on, Cam Newton. Let's figure. I'm going to figure you out." He's probably one of the only ones. But at the end of the day, not even Andy Reid liked Patrick Mahomes' style.
No.
Made Patrick Mahomes learn. He made him fit first before he started trusting Patrick Mahomes. All I'm saying is this. I'm happy for Trey Lance. And I'm happy that the Niners now can kind of close that chapter in their book, and we can kind of look forward to the new heights that we're going to reach, the new accolades. We have our starting quarterback. It's Brock Purdy. I'm so grateful to have him. I'm glad that he didn't turn out as the normal 7th round picks.
Right,
At least
exactly.
he did last year. We'll figure out what it's going to be this year.
We'll see.
I believe and that Brock is going to be just fine. We watched the preseason game. I don't care if he went against the 17th. We watched him drive down the field on a 10-play drive, and let's talk about that drive because if Brock Purdy didn't fucking trip Jordan Mason, it was a touchdown. So before the fumble, it was a handoff exchange between Brock Purdy and Jordan Mason, and his feet clipped him, and Jordan Mason fell down like right before the goal line. Next play was the fumble and the touchdown. So, like, in the end zone. So, I have zero problems with Brock Purdy manufacturing this offense, running it effectively, and getting into the red zone. I feel like we get to that red zone, we starting to struggle. On his second drive, he was able to score, and I loved it because nobody was open, and he took the lane. He did a nice little pump fake. You know, it was like a basketball pump fake too. Like, yeah, you think you get a ball? Nah, son. And then took off into the end zone. So
that is a great fucking question.
What's the question? By Yosef? So question, if God forbid Purdy gets hurt again. Yeah. I mean, this is all I said was keep the same energy and be consistent for everybody.
But they won't. I promise you that they won't. And the excuses will be abounding.
I think they will.
I think they will.
They will.
They don't trust. They don't trust injury quarterbacks.
Jimmy. Now they're doing it with Trey.
And can
he
I
lost
add this
his job because of injury?
Can I add this factor in there,
Purdy
Mose?
somehow gets hurt again and he misses multiple games, and they got to go with Sam Darnold, and he also is not what. Because let's be real,
that's it.
I don't want Sam to play, because if Sam plays, I'm afraid that I'm gonna have to pull out the old Dennis Green quote. And for all my football aficionados who know Dennis Green and what he's famous for, y'all can finish this sentence. He is who we thought he was.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like we're gonna be down this road again if Purdy gets hurt. And we're not talking about his elbow. We're not talking about
it's
him
just
not
an
being
injury
able to
that's going
throw.
to keep him from playing.
Anything that'll keep him from playing for an extended period of time or for multiple games. Kyle's going to have the same hissy fit that he can't find quarterbacks to get hurt. No. What are you doing that's getting all of your quarterbacks hurt?
Because I'm telling you what, the whole league wants to know. It's not just the faithful. It's not just, people around. Like, everyone wants to know. What in the hell are they doing over there in San Francisco?
Johnson. We've had to see C.J. Beathard. We've had to see Nick Mullins.
That was a draft pick by Kyle Shanahan.
Because quarterbacks
sure
are getting hurt. What are you doing?
Oh, I could tell you. Here we go.
Quarterbacks from staying on the field.
Oh, maybe perhaps it's the system. Oh, and perhaps if the 49ers decided to invest in an offensive line, and this is not a shot at our skill players, but do we need 10 skilled players? Like, do we need all of them? Because they all can't get the ball at the same time. Let's go through our skilled players on offense. You got the best tight end. You got Deebo Samuel. You're going to have to pay Brandon Ayuk. Now you got Christian McCaffrey. Who am I missing? The quarterback?
As an offensive weapon.
Yes. Then you got that's a lot of premium. And I didn't even talk about Trent Williams and then the defense. I'm just talking about that premium offense. So yeah, I like all those guys. And if we can run the offense, complete the passes, and get them to him, yeah, it's going to be electrifying. But the quarterbacks always get hurt in the system. Always get hurt in this system. It doesn't. Did CJ Beathard miss time due to injury? I can't remember. He might have been the only gridiron.
He missed time due to injury because that's why we saw Nick Mullins.
There you go. All the quarterbacks in this system get hurt. And so, it starts here. I'm with Yosef. It starts with the offensive line. But
what's pissing me off about this too, Breezy, is don't sell me on your philosophy of building in the trenches. And as a defensive tackle myself, sure, I love when we get new defensive tackles in the building, but that's the only trenches that you want to invest in. The only real investment that you made on the offensive line besides trading for Trent Williams is trading for Weston Richburg. And maybe you drafted Aaron Banks in the second round. But there have been no other high investments beside McGlinchey who didn't work out and not on the team anymore. He was good in the run, but he sucked in the pass. And we have to keep quarterbacks upright and not hurt. So make more of an investment in the trench if that's your philosophy, but not just on one side of the ball.
I never once said, it's our cousin, I never once said I wanted 350-pound offensive linemen from the 1990s. I understand that Kyle Shanahan has a type to run his system. They need to be quick, they need to have great feet, and they need to be able to get to that second level quicker than most offensive linemen in the league. But there are better talented offensive linemen like that. And here's how I know. There's two positions on the offensive line that Kyle covets. It's the left tackle and it's the center. This is not a stab at Jake Brindle, but man, what a downgrade from Alex Mack. Alex Mack, old ass, was the best center we've ever had under Kyle Shanahan.
Yep.
Even though he went out and paid Weston Richburg all that money, but couldn't stay healthy. He couldn't stay healthy.
Nope.
Yep.
And so because we're lacking that, maybe that is why, Jake Brindle gets his contract. You got to go with Colt McKivitz because you don't have any money. You couldn't pay Mike McGlinchey or get any other right tackle. You address the defensive side. Kyle, you could tell that they're always big on addressing the defense, right? Opposed to addressing the offense because they like their quarterbacks to get the balls out of their hands quickly. And that's it. Get it to the playmakers. That's the offense. And that another reason to why Trey Lance didn't fit. Right? That's not his game. And if Sam Darnold doesn't revert back to what we saw, like getting the ball out of his hand quick and stop pity padding and pump faking and on a 3-step drop, I mean, I just want him to get the same smoke as Trey Lance got because that's what I saw tonight. And then he hits the one bomb, and I'm like, okay, that's a big game. Nice 33-yard pass, but then it injures Chris Conley. But at the end of the day, like, we're good. We're good with Brock. I believe the 49ers are going to be fine. It's if something was to happen where I'm scratching my head. So we just got to pray that nothing happens to Brock Purdy. Nothing. But the history shows that 49ers quarterbacks get injured.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
So we'll figure it out. All right, let's talk about the other side of the ball tonight because the defense. Let's talk about Steve Wilks. A lot of people aren't sold on Steve Wilks. They feel like people are questioning him sitting up in the box, and then people are questioning that, we can't stop the run. Tonight we got torched by the kid Kelly that went to UCLA. Joshua Kelly just runs right up the middle, but it wasn't an interior issue on that. It was the linebackers just didn't. DFF didn't on that play. He didn't do his job, and so maybe it was a miscommunication. I don't know, but that can't ever happen, ever, right? Not that run.
Absolutely right. We can't give up explosives like that.
Now it's for a touchdown.
If we want to be a top 5, top 3 defense with the studs that we have, we can't give up stuff like that. Now, will it be the same when we have Hargrave and Armstead in the middle more consistently? I don't think so. When Bosa comes back, I don't think so. But it's something that we definitely have to watch for because teams already know and they feel, especially after 3 straight preseason games where teams have done this, that we are susceptible up the middle. And I think it's a combination of a new defense. Steve Wilks is trying to figure out how to incorporate this wide 9 and maybe some, of the defensive sets and schemes aren't really conducive to what he's calling yet. And it's going to take a little bit of time, first couple of weeks for them to gel. But I think we have enough talent to overcome it. We just can't have this be something that lingers deep into the season. Like if we get to the middle of October, that's what 6-7 weeks.
We can't be getting gashed,
and we still getting gashed like this.
We got
in mid-October. That's a problem.
Yeah, I mean anything over 7 yards is a problem for me. I'm cool with a couple of 5s, but the defense, the trenches up front on the defensive line, they have to be better. They just have to be better. And I don't know how much of this is a factor because Nick Bosa hasn't been out there and he wasn't going to play in the preseason. But when he comes back, I'm not sure if it helps alleviate that and it fixes it just a little bit. But they're going to attack Bosa's side on the run. So these linebackers, which I believe Dre Greenlaw, who didn't play, they'll be better. I feel like they'll be better. So I'm not too worried about what we saw last night. But like you said, you can't give up those type of explosive plays, period. It doesn't matter when it is. You just don't want to give those explosive plays. Let's talk about this guy, though. So there's who's going to play nickelback? Because I watched, if I count all the plays that he made, that he played, I felt like it was 1 good play and 4 bad plays. So everybody's consistent with that? This is a problem. This is a problem. So does he make this roster?
This was a question that somebody asked when I was doing the watch party, and I said the only way Isaiah Oliver makes this roster is because of the contract we gave him in free agency. I don't know the full details and the language of it and what outs we have, but that may be the only thing that saves his job is that free agency contract. Because again, if we're going based off of merit, he has not done anything to warrant even making this roster. For us to give up and potentially lose a spot for somebody like Deshaun Jameson, who's been playing really well, Taylor Hawkins, Breezy, who we talked about during the watch party, who I think, has been playing really well and is developing nicely, even though, we have a crowded safety unit. I think Taylor Hawkins as a backup and a special teams player is really, really good for us. So to potentially lose guys like that just because of the money that we gave him in free agency, I don't know. He hasn't earned it for me. So seeing him make this final roster would kind of be a little head scratching.
The Greatest 49 says, Night Fire AF. I feel like his stock is rising.
Yep. Him too.
To play nickel or safety. They have him at safety. They have him listed as safety, but his stock is rising. So, he's definitely a sure tackler. The play that pissed me off the most about Oliver was on that pressure that he stopped. It was just like, dude, attack the quarterback and force Max Duggan to make a bad throw. Like, what are you doing? Like, don't sit there and let him throw it. And that's what pissed me off, because it ended up being a touchdown. Like, you can't be a veteran in this league and not know to attack the freaking quarterback. Crazy. All right, breaking news, guys. Apparently, this is from 49ers Hive, my boy Zach. He says that Taylor Hawkins, according to Kyle Shanahan, may have broken his hand.
Yeah.
And we were just talking him up. I thought he played all right tonight. I thought he had he was decent tonight. But it's unfortunate. Taylor Hawkins, one of the safeties, may have broken his hand per Kyle Shanahan. Shout out to 49ers Hive for that. So, look, I don't know what they're going to do at this nickel position, because I'm expecting, and I think maybe, I think this is why that people are really hard on Steve Wilks. The 49ers faithful is one tough fan base. Mm-hmm. And let me explain what I'm saying. Steve Wilks is a what? What's his specialty?
Secondary.
So when you bring him on as a defensive coordinator, the expectations are your secondary players better be freaking at the top of the cream. They just better be good, because that's what you specialize in.
Yeah.
And so what we're seeing from the slot position, I thought the outside, I thought Bobby Womack, Samuel Womack he's a starter in this league.
He's good.
Yeah. I just think Samuel Womack's going to be a starter. I don't know if he'll be a starter for the 49ers right now,
but
that's his capability
he
of being
has
a
starting
starter.
Potential, that's for sure.
If he was on a different team, he'll be getting those reps. I feel like he'll be getting those reps.
Absolutely. You sure will.
So I guess the question is, like, and I was asked this in my Instagram DM, are we going to miss the Miko Ryans?
100%. Absolutely. Because I think we didn't see a drop off from Saleh to D'Amico because D'Amico was in the building. Yeah. Steve Wilks wasn't in the building. Steve Wilks is technically an outsider.
I get what you're saying.
So he's coming in and trying to bring in his scheme, but he's not completely overhauling what we do. And I think Kyle has said it, John has said it, and even Steve himself said it. There is nuance to what he does, but he also doesn't want to come in and just completely overhaul a defense that just ranked number 1 in the NFL. Like, right. He's like, he can't come in and completely overhaul the entire thing. So he's trying to marry what we already do well
Mm-hmm.
with what he does well.
Yeah. Just
And
tweaking it.
anytime you try to marry two similar but different concepts, there is going to be some type of attrition period. There's going to be some type of growth, development, weird stage where it doesn't all look good. There's still some kinks that need to be ironed out. And I think that's going to take the first couple of weeks. We're going to need to see some teams that have a real offensive game plan to score and move the football on us. And we're going to have to see how we hold up to the ones, going up against the ones and real offensive schemes. And once we start to see that in full action with all of our guys, and then they can start to make tweaks to it, then I think that's when we'll start to see a better, more cohesive product on the field. But it's going to take time because Wilkes is an outsider. He wasn't here already. So, he's bringing in his style and trying to marry that with what we already do best.
Very well said. I agree, but I just feel like it doesn't have to take time. You have enough all pros on this defense for it to work properly. I think they're just missing that key piece right now. I think you bring back Nick Bosa, and next thing you know, that's one less worry. Not Chris Forrester. What's our defensive line coach?
Kosaric.
So Kosaric will right now he's just getting those players to chomp at the bits, man. They're getting these reps. You bring him back, man, you can wipe your brow because it's one whole side that you don't have to worry about. And then I think Steve Wilkes can still focus on that secondary. Our starting safeties didn't play tonight. Hufanga didn't play. Gibson didn't play. That you got experience and veteranship with another young guy that I feel like Wilkes is going to mentor very well, right? And on top of that, you bring back Bosa. I think I don't think it's going to take as much time. Now that if Bosa doesn't play week 1, I'm scared. And I'm going to tell you why.
You have a right to be scared.
Well, here's why. The 49ers usually start slow, but the defense is always fast.
That's right.
So if Bosa's not there, that fast defense, listen, Fred Warner going to bring it. Gibb, Hufanga, they're going to bring it. Without that pass rush, teams are going to plan to do screens. You watch what happens tonight. They're going to plan to do things just to take us off our game so we can't play aggressive. And they're going to negate that. And now you're forcing your offense to go out there and put up whatever many points on the road. So I'm going to be super scared. Fuck worried. I'll be scared. At that point, I'm beyond worried.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because how Nick affects the game, and I don't think people really realize this, it's deeper than just his pass rush ability.
Right.
It's the way he makes quarterbacks and offensive linemen think and react. When Nick Bosa is on the field, you have to account for him. But if Steve Wilkes is also going to be exotic and throw in these blitz packages, and you see Fred moving all around, and you see Greenlaw moving all around, and you see Hufanga in the box on the opposite side of Bosa or on the same side as Bosa, and it looks like we're bringing something, well, that quarterback or the center on the offensive line has to make a check and make sure that the entire offensive line understands what the new blocking assignment is going to be. If they don't get that out completely, or if they don't get it out right, or if they're nervous and worried about Nick Bosa and they call the wrong thing, somebody's going to end up either with a one-on-one or as a free rusher. And don't let it be a loud environment. Don't let it be at Levi's, or don't let it be on the road where the faithful travel well and turn it into a home game for us. And now the offensive line has to go on a silent count because it's too loud in the building. They're not
Yep.
going to be able to make those checks.
Facts.
With Nick Bosa not on the line,
Yep.
oh, they don't have to worry about that.
That's my point.
Even if they mess up on a check, none of the checks are going to be somebody double team Bosa, somebody chip Bosa, somebody pull to Bosa. It's going to be everybody's got their one-on-one and win your rep.
Yeah, Corey says our defense on the road has been solid overall the past 2 seasons. They have, but they had Bosa. A lot of people, I felt like, when the question was asked about, D'Amico Ryans, I mean, he was inherited like the cream of the crop. You know what I'm saying? Like, he had a very stout defense that he took over. Did he help develop it and make it better? Absolutely. But man, he inherited some great talent, some great players, right? With Robert Saleh, it took a minute to get. Robert Saleh was trash, in my opinion, until he got Nick Bosa, and then he was able to dial up his stuff because he had that one piece that he can count on. Remember, they got him D Ford and Nick Bosa the same year, so the pass rush was just like it was going to be on point. And then he was able to do different things with the rest of his players. D'Amico Ryans, to me, inherited the benefits of what Saleh kind of like started. So Steve Wilkes is getting all of that as well, minus a couple of people. He's going to lose. You lose Jimmy Ward, but he's missing Bosa right now, which is good though, because you got proper evaluation. With Bosa wasn't going to play in any preseason game, right? And so you got proper evaluation. The only thing you might have gotten from Bosa was him to help out some of those young guys. Because let's talk about a defensive player that stood out tonight, right? Let's talk about a kid that almost had an interception, but they called it incomplete because what did he do? Trap the ball or something like that? Like Drake Jackson, if he can potentially be a problem. He batted down 2 passes. He batted down 1, almost got the interception, and then was disruptive on like another pass where he just got in the vision of the quarterback. This kid can be a force. Let's talk about Drake Jackson. I thought he had a good game.
I thought he had a real good game, and I think he's only continuing to grow and get better. We knew he was athletic, but to see him use his athleticism in so many different ways. There was one time where he was at the hash. I mean, he was outside the numbers in coverage. And I think the guy he was covering was a wide receiver. I can't remember who it was or what number, but like Drake was in coverage near the sideline. He was pretty far away from the line of scrimmage. So, he's able to rush the passer. He's athletic. He's getting his hands in those passing lanes with the quarterback, being able to bat those balls down. I think, again, we talked about it with Trey Lance. We talk about it with every young player. They need reps. They need to be able to have live game action so that they can start processing and downloading information for them to use to help them get better. So the more reps that he gets, I think the more of a groove that he's going to find himself in. And I think we got a really good player on our hands.
Yeah.
All right.
So I'm doing my behind the scenes research and stuff, of course, at the same time while I'm on the show. So that's why I'm, with my phone and stuff. So they asked a lot of players questions about the Trey Lance trade, like in their locker rooms. And Juszczyk says, happy that we have a team that it seems like that wanted him. It's always good to be wanted.
Wait, say that again?
A lot to me.
Happy that we have a team that it seems like Dallas wanted him. It's always good to be wanted. See that like I'm telling you, the stuff is going to come out.
Exactly.
Was that a shot at the organization? Or
that was a shot at
Trey?
that was a shot at the organization. Listen, here's what I'm getting.
It's not the only one. It's just
one. Here's what I'm getting, right? I'm getting that they fucked up, right? And now they're taking accountability on saying, and John Lynch did this yesterday, right? He specifically said, we came in here, we gave him a shot, but we didn't develop, you know what he said. And so like that was the start. And I'm like, thank you. I needed that for clarification. I needed that for confirmation because you drafted him because you wanted to change the elements of the offense.
Right.
Like you wanted to take the top off the defense. You wanted a quarterback that can possibly potentially run. You wanted those things. How do I know? Because Kyle Shanahan fucking said it. Like,
Yes.
that's how I know. He specifically said the type of quarterback he wanted. He went up and got it. But for some reason, Trey Lance wasn't getting. It's not the playbook. So people stop saying Trey Lance didn't know the playbook. That ain't it. You watched him make plays, right? If he made plays, he knew the fucking playbook.
They already said a million damn times that the kid knew the playbook and how smart he was. You guys, please stop saying that. It was not because of the playbook. That was not the issue. I got one more thing to say, and then you can have it, because I don't want to go all just not doing that tonight. There's already national concern, of course, in the national media, you know how they are, and things that are coming out, and by watching the way that Kyle and John Lynch did these pressers. The Yorks got in that ass. I'm just letting you know what happened. The Yorks got in that ass, because you can always tell whenever you're in the doghouse, because this is embarrassing, and it just doesn't embarrass John and Kyle. It embarrasses this York family, everyone. If you traded up all these picks and the Yorks entrusted these guys to get this right, and now you're basically admitting that you didn't, because you didn't do the things that you needed to do for this kid. Do you guys realize how you guys were trying to make Trey Lance out to be some kind of an awful criminal? Besides all of the team that has his back, even in Dallas, he apologized to Kyle. And I'm good.
So the whole issue to me isn't the fact that he didn't know the playbook. He just couldn't execute it in the way that they wanted him to. And unless he gets multiple reps at doing something that he's uncomfortable doing, like, that's why we saw the types of results that we saw from Trey Lance. So again, like, don't be mad at us for bringing this shit up, because they're bringing it out. Like, the Niners, 49ers, real Niners, 49ers media are now speaking about it, because now they're allowed to. So now the stuff is coming back out. So at the end of the day, don't fucking say you don't like this and you don't like that. Can we move on? I would love to, but they're talking about it. So if they're talking about it, that gives us the right to talk about it, because we're going to react to what they're talking about, being that this is definitely the instant reaction show. And now they just finished pressers. We talked about the game. Fuck the game. Let's talk about the stuff that's really going down. And that, to me, like, I think everybody in the team knew that the writings was on the wall, Mose, and Trey Lance was just waiting for the opportunity to get the fuck out of Dodge. That's what it is.
And let's keep it a buck. You got rid of their brother from the past 2 years plus for some dude that they just met. They've been going to war with Trey.
What if Kyle Shanahan
they've been rehabbing
Darnold
with Trey?
Go ahead.
Like, no, you got it.
Nah, cause Kyle always gets his players. He might not draft him, but he always finds a way to have that player at some point land on his squad. What if Sam Darnold was one of those players?
And that's why I said, if Brock finds a way to get injured,
his ass is gone.
They are going to jettison him, and they are going to usher Sam Darnold in as the next prince of the Shanahan system. and they're going to feed us. Oh well, Brock overachieved for us, and we're thankful for his contribution. But let's be honest, he was a 7th round pick. He is undersized. He doesn't have a strong arm. They're going to feed us all of that bullshit,
If
and half of the fan base that really isn't into football, they just like the Niners. They're going to be like, you know what? You're right. He is undersized. He doesn't have a strong arm. He was a 7th round pick. Sam Darnold was a number 3 overall pick. He has a bigger arm. This and that. They're going to try to feed us bullshit to pacify us and make it sound like, oh, they're making the right decision for the organization. No, this is Kyle is fucking Christina Aguilera. What a girl wants, what a girl needs. Whatever makes me happy sets you for, like, dog, if that's what it is, and we've been saying it, if that's what it is, stand on it, bruh. Just say that. I wanted Sam Darnold. I saw what he went through with the Jets. I saw what he went through with the Panthers. And none of them coaches is me.
it's that narcissistic.
None of those schemes are mine.
He could work in my scheme.
So all the talent that he had coming out of college at USC, being a number 3 overall pick, none of them schemes, none of them coaches was me.
You know what I don't get, Mose? Why the fan base isn't? Why is the fan base mad at Trey Lance and not mad at Kyle Shanahan? He drafted him.
It's like you being mad at a child for being born. The child didn't ask to be here.
Be here. Trey Lance didn't ask to be drafted by the 49ers.
The child didn't tell you to have sex with that woman or have sex with that man and get pregnant. And then 9 months later, birth. The child didn't ask for that. So you picked him believing that you could coach him up. And it wasn't Trey that failed.
Nah. They failed.
Trey don't have enough information for you to make a decision that say he failed. He's not Ryan Leaf. He's not Tim Couch. He's not Johnny Manziel. He's not Jamarcus Russell. He's not Baker Mayfield. He's not Jameis Winston. He's not none of them guys that had start after start after start after start. How many of those guys that I mentioned lead the league in interceptions?
It's
At
a fact,
least
man.
3 or 4 of them.
It's a fact. It's a fact. Look, I do want to give props to all the 49er football players, Trey's ex-teammates. They're out there putting out their love. You know, I think it's a beautiful thing. You know, Deommodore Lenoir, Brandon Ayuk, Debo says, "Love you, brother. God, be you. Go be you. Go be you. Go be you. Like who? Why? Remember we did an episode and I said Kyle gotta let Trey be Trey.
Yep.
That was the issue.
Yep. I remember.
That was the issue, yo. The issue the whole time. Listen, this has nothing to do with me being right because I wanted Trey Lance on this team or anything like that. But Trey Lance had some stuff that we saw glimpses of it, but Kyle immediately shut it down. Yeah. Right? So at the end of the day, when a teammate goes and says "Go be you," I don't know, man. I feel like there's some meaning to that. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, BA, Jason Poe, Fred Warner, go ball, brother. Like, fingers crossed and all that good stuff. Ray McLeod, they truthfully got one. Go ball, brother. Do I have to change? I gotta start spelling brother like that, like because I'm realizing that's the new wave. It's brother.
Yep.
But I think it's cool. Like I said, I think that the organization is now allowing it. But this is after a preseason game, so you can tell that this game didn't mean shit.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
right? Like you could tell. And on top of that, Peachy, Buffalo wanted Trey Lance. The Buffalo Bills
Yep.
wanted Trey Lance. It's just that the Dallas Cowboys offer was better.
Yeah.
Can you
And-
imagine Trey Lance under Josh Allen?
Yeah.
And
what-
the only reason why it was better is because Buffalo wanted the 49ers to pay some of the
Pay some of the
Yes.
salary next year.
and Dallas was like, nah, we'll pick up the whole
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. So, also, the people that are calling him a bust, the Cowboys had an early second round grade on him. So, I mean, if he didn't go in the first, then he would have went at the top of the second because they had him on their board, is what I'm saying. So they had already been into him in the first place. So, like I said, and like Breezy said, stuff's gonna come out. I mean, it came out about Jimmy, and it's gonna come out about this too. I was really surprised with Juszczyk because he was, like such a Jimmy guy, and everything when he was talking about feels like 49er football, and we had a show about that and all that stuff. So for him to come out and actually say that, I think the players are getting a little bit tired of the way that things are being done around there. And
I'm hoping that's what it is. I really am.
because
I just talked about it. How they did his boy Jimmy.
yeah,
Right.
So
They're starting to see the pattern.
right.
You just did
Right.
my boy
Now-
like
now
that.
you're
So
starting to
I'm
see it. Yeah.
I'm already sour to you as it is.
right.
Yeah.
How you did my boy.
Yeah.
And let's not forget this one. How they did Robbie Gold.
And they're probably going to have to ask him to come back because apparently they're looking into Plan B. And I'm sure that Plan B is trying to find a way to convince Robbie to come back and get for this team again.
Both of the kickers you got is injured.
Mm-hmm. It's not looking good
One
for
with
week
a
one.
quad and one with a calf. So you got to, hey, Robbie, my boy, look, man, so we need you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how do you feel about coming? I hope he laughs them off the phone.
That is why
He don't even have to laugh him. He could just hit him with the number. He could be like, "Yo, I need 10 million." That they did Robbie dirty because Robbie wanted $7 to $8 million.
yes.
And the Niners was like, F you.
Mm-hmm.
And so now Robbie's like, all right, you're going to need me. The Niners waste the third round pick.
And now he should up it, like you
And
said.
that's
yup.
why he going to up that junk to 10 million because now he's wanted. He's a commodity. He needs
And
Exactly.
and if they not willing to sign him for that 10 million, what should he say, Breezy?
I don't know. What should he say?
Bullshit.
Well, a bullshit.
bullshit.
But
So-
that's the next
yeah.
thing I wanted to address because like the Niners apparently don't currently have a healthy kicker.
Yeah.
Okay. And I mean, I know a lot of people saying, hey, the Chargers got 2 kickers and they're pretty good. Yeah, but we'll have to trade. So what do you want to trade for a kicker? You want to trade for a kicker? So like at this point, what will the Niners do about the situation? The thing is, they're hoping Jake Moody will be good by week 1. He has a few weeks to get right, and they're hoping. But like, it's how did the motherfucker got injured during warm up, bro? Like that's what happened.
Yep. That's what happened.
I missed the warm up, y'all. So when I saw Mitch Wisnowski kick it, I just assumed it was Zane Gonzalez because I didn't know he wasn't
He
playing.
got injured during warm-ups because he had kicked some, and then he started missing. And then that's when they noticed he was hurt.
Dang, he could at least kick
Right.
one field goal.
Something like that. That's why I put on Twitter that I feel like there's this dark cloud over this team, and it's ridiculous.
I don't know. Do you think Moody's trash?
No, not at all.
I just think he's probably in his head.
Yeah.
You get drafted in the third round.
That pressure is
to
crazy.
a team that has been to 3 of the last 4 NFC Championship games and was in a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And like the NFC Championship games we were in, other than the Eagles one, just because Purdy got injured, were close games. We were beating the Rams. And then we won one, and we were beating the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Like, there's a lot of pressure. And then also you're replacing Robbie Gould, who was pretty much automatic when it came to playoffs. Like, he has a nickname, good as gold. Like, that's who you're replacing.
Mm-hmm.
And then you add in, I'm in a different city. I have to learn the weather out here because the weather in Michigan ain't
Winter
the same
weird.
as the weather
It's not
in
the same.
Santa Clara, California.
It's not the same.
The
Elements make a huge difference.
It's a big difference. So he's still learning that.
You got to give him time.
Got to give him time.
He's a freaking rookie, y'all. The fuck?
You expect a rookie to come into the NFL.
They do. The Niners, they do.
Oh, they absolutely do.
and to-
oh,
and
yeah,
to
from
be-
day one.
And to be kicked 98%,
Mm-hmm.
100% on extra
yeah.
points.
The faithful? This faithful? Absolutely.
Yes. Everything.
He only allowed to miss a maximum of 2 kicks.
Absolutely.
That's
What?
That's the faithful, bro.
And in the playoffs, you can't miss no kicks. You got to be 100%. Like, that's what they're expecting from a 21, 22-year-old kid.
That's what they do.
That's what they're expecting.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're expecting. So, look, it's the preseason is ending. I'm so glad that it's over. The next big wave that we're going to talk about on Monday, we're going to do our 53-man roster and who we think is going to make that shot, make that thing. That's going to be fun. So on the Wayne Breezy show, I won't touch that. That'll be a nitty-gritty Niners thing for Monday night. And Tuesday, who's going to make this 53? That's going to be, woo.
Yep.
I don't know, yo. I got to go back and watch this game. First of all, the shit was boring. Second of all,
Right.
I didn't see anybody stand out, bro.
No.
Like, I expected Drake Jackson to play well,
Yeah.
right? Second year, so he's going to make the squad. But I'm talking about the people that might. Yo, I know
bubble
who's a lock. I know who's a lock, Peachy and Mose. I know who's a fucking lock. Ronnie Bell's a fucking lock. That mother, he got no snaps. I mean, he got some snaps, but he got 0 targets.
Yeah, you can. That's another thing for people that are not paying attention to that. In the final preseason game, you can tell who is already a lock, versus who's not, because who's not and is still on the bubble, you'll see them a lot out there. But for those that are good to go, you barely will even see them, if you see them at all.
Who is a lock to you guys? Just off the top from this game. I picked Ronnie Bell because I was sitting there trying to figure out. I'm looking at his targets. I'm like, oh, I don't see his name on the sheet. But I know he was out there. He was out there in special teams. So I'm curious to know. Oh, I got a question, Peachy. All right, this is for Peachy. Peachy, who will be running back 2? Ty Davis Price or Jordan Mason?
Man.
This is for Peachy Mose. Sorry, you're going to get a different one. The way he hung his head low. Come on, Peachy.
I would still have to go with Mason.
Nah.
Even
Yes.
though,
Nah.
wait,
Nah.
Mason.
Nah.
I know he's got
Nope.
the fumbleitis this
You
year.
can't fucking put a stipulation and say this motherfucker fumbled in the end zone. Even
I
he's been
know,
fumbling in practice. I was cool with practice. You fumbled in the game. I'm glad that Kyle Shanahan went back to him. But at the end of the day, you can't fumble around. What's the purpose of rushing for 100 yards if you're going to give the ball to another team?
That
It's just
was
100
crazy.
yards, right?
I can't stand fumbles in the ends.
I'm not trying to coerce
The
y'all.
worst.
Y'all say I'm tripping,
No,
right?
no, but I'm saying like those are the worst.
He had a good game with a fumble. What kind of shit? Y'all don't play fantasy football. I'm telling y'all, man. Y'all go ahead and play fantasy. Play fantasy football. Y'all been mad as
that fumble minus 2 points.
they would have been mad.
And real talk, that's an 8-point swing because you don't get the 6 that you were supposed to get from the touchdown.
Oh,
Plus the
Whoa,
minus
hold
2.
on,
That's
what?
an 8-point swing.
wow! This first of all,
That's not true.
they keep him
TDP's
for running
making
backs.
it.
Yeah,
I'm a little nervous about Elijah Mitchell. He may start the season on the PUP.
You just never know. Yeah,
He'll make the
yeah.
roster, but then they'll put him.
will make the 53.
But then
Yes.
who's the 4th running back?
It,
Because
Maybe they
it ain't Brian Hill.
it
No,
damn sure ain't.
yeah.
He had a good run though. I saw one good run. I thought he was gonna get tackled. He took a side step. He was trash.
I saw slow feet.
He was trash.
I
You know who?
saw poor vision.
You know who else
And
was
he
trash?
can't catch out the backfield.
Who else
And
was
you-
trash?
Who else at the wide receiver? Well, he was on special teams.
Oh, I
Anthony Miller ass got to go too.
Oh, he
man.
cut.
That experiment
he
was
cut.
cool, man. I expect him to be
This
released
was his-
tomorrow.
This
Yeah.
was his audition.
Yeah,
he
you
was
can't-
just playing. He was just
He
playing
fly.
in this
Nah.
game, man. He's not gonna do
Nah.
nothing. Now,
He
Willie
like one of the-
Snead, my dude.
He missed one block and now he can't block. So what was worse, the missed block or the fumble in the end zone? Miss me with that shit.
Yeah, fumble in the end zone. 'cause that's
Okay,
a
I
good
just
point.
want to know because the missed block may have cost Brock, but we had another chance. Brock Purdy just couldn't get it in on the other chance. But Mason fumbled the touchdown, which we would have
So
been
bad
up
to get those. There,
not 14-0 because we couldn't kick. But all I'm saying is,
Yeah, Mason's fine though.
look, it's pass blocking. Y'all keep saying he can't pass block, yet he looked fine today. He ain't
It
fumbled
just-
either.
But Willie Snead,
And he didn't give up a
Um,
sack either. I just want
I-
to put that out there, Peachy.
I
He didn't
think
give up a
with
sack.
this injury to Conley, if it was close between Conley and Snead, I think Snead's got it.
Yeah.
That is Conley's injury.
Well, she's saying if he wasn't injured,
Yeah, like
she would
like,
give the edge to Snead.
if they looked at them being close,
I think I kind of
no,
agree with
I
her.
think Snead's
No,
got it.
if Conley wasn't injured, he would get it. But because he's injured, it might go
No,
to
that's
Snead.
not what she's saying. She's
No.
saying if Conley was healthy, right? She's giving the edge to Snead.
The thing is that I couldn't
You're
evaluate.
giving the edge to Snead if Conley's healthy.
I think I
Yes.
would too because Trey Lance is gone.
Yeah,
And
Exactly.
Conley was that Trey Lance guy.
yeah.
Like
Conley wasn't really. Yeah,
he
I mean,
couldn't
he's
cook.
not really been.
He
with
wasn't
any,
cooking with no other
yeah,
quarterback but
no
Trey
other
Lance,
one.
bro.
Mhm, that's it.
So it's
I
ironic
think it's Snead.
he got injured tonight. I'm telling you, this should be a setup.
Crazy.
And
But
he'll be the
Snead-
one that
Snead
gets
will.
on the practice squad. Remember, they can keep 7. What is it? How many? I forgot. They can keep a lot of veterans on the practice squad. That's why I think Ross Dwelly, Charlie Warner, like those guys will go to the practice squad this year because that's how it's set up to keep 7 of them dudes. They got accrued seasons. They can get on that practice squad because, and then when it comes to like Chris Conley, I thought he would have made the roster. I mean, he was definitely my lock, but I think I get what Peachy is saying. When you look at the quarterbacks, like Snead fits the other two quarterbacks, but he wasn't, but he's a better blocking wide receiver too. So like, does that give him an edge in your book? I know Chris Conley flashed a lot more, but it was really with Trey Lance.
Yeah, it was.
It's like Danny Gray all over again.
Which
weird.
is another interesting one.
They're saying he's not exclusive to Trey. I'm just saying he performed. He was Trey Lance's heart. Like that
He
was his
played
go-to guy.
better whenever he was out there.
He did play with other quarterbacks. He just
Yes.
played better.
He did play better when Trey was throwing him the football compared to everyone else.
Listen, Mason had a great game, guys. I wasn't trying to take shots at Jordan Mason. He just fumbled. I don't do fumbles. That's a non-negotiable. That doesn't mean he's not going to make the team. I just don't do fumbles. That's just that the running backs can't fumble the ball.
That was it was really bad. But right before he fumbled the ball,
He
his
tripped over
quarterback
Brock
tripped
Purdy
him.
for So like, it was just a series of unfortunate events. I
Right,
think that was how I said it.
exactly. Just like that.
Brunel Jacobs off topic, but did Robert Bill? I didn't see Robert Bill play.
No, he did not play today.
So that injury is kind of worrisome, and I wouldn't be
Yep.
surprised if he I don't know what they'll do with him. Some
What do
rookies
you-
get cut, y'all. Like they don't
Here's-
keep everybody.
This is interesting. What do you think of Tay Martin, Breezy? Because I don't know.
Well, I mean, if I had to pick between him and Ronnie Bell, like I would pick Ronnie Bell.
Oh, of course.
But if I
I said they both make it.
I think the 49ers go
Think
with
they're
5
both-
wideouts now. I think they're locked on 5. I think Ronnie Bell makes the 5th.
So now you think it's 5 instead of 6?
I think Tay Martin he'll get cut. They'll keep Ray. And then Ray will go to the IR or PPP,
And then,
whatever you want to call it.
IR, and then they bring Tay Martin
And then they
back.
bring Tay Martin back.
And so
yeah.
is Debo, Ayuk, Jennings, Bell, Tay Martin.
Tay Martin. I think that would be a nice
Okay.
5 line. I don't think they need 6 anymore. Like I thought they would go with 6, but I don't think they need
Right.
6.
Gotcha. Well,
So-
I didn't either, like, because I kept saying 5 when I was doing my thing. And then I was like, maybe they might need 6 because,
I
you
feel
just
like they
never
need
know.
6 because
Right.
damn, how many receivers we losing? All right,
Exactly.
so just in
We're
case you
losing
guys
them
don't
left
know,
and right.
Chris Conley is out. Like he got injured today. He has a shoulder
Mm-hmm.
injury. We also lost cornerback AJ Parker with a hamstring injury, who I thought was playing well as a nickelback. So
We
this
needed
is
to see AJ too tonight.
Yeah, and
so
we
that
couldn't.
sucks.
but trending up. I did like what I saw from number 22, Deshaun Jameson.
Yes.
Yeah, Deshaun Jameson got to find a way to make this squad.
I
Yes.
think he will.
So this is why I think they go one less
I
receiver,
like him.
extra DB.
You are extra DB, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, guys, man, thanks for tuning in to the Overreaction Show. It was a weird reaction show because I don't think people really watched this game. It was boring. I'm sorry. I thought it would be more exciting, but Brandon Allen don't belong on this team. Like he just
Jesus.
like how is he the third string quarterback, yo? Oh, are the 49ers keeping 2 quarterbacks now that Trey Lance is gone? I'm going with yes. I
Yeah.
still think they cut Brandon Allen's ass.
I think they put him. He's one of those veterans that goes on the
And
practice
Kyle
squad.
cannot be
Good point.
happy with what he looked like especially when he first got out there.
Wait. Let me see what he did. I know
Remember
what he
when
did
he
in
finally-
vision.
Yeah.
I just want to see what he finished. I'm sorry. 2 for 6 and an interception. Oh, his first play was an interception. How could I miss that?
And it was
Duh.
awful.
It was and it was
It
to
was
Tay
so
Martin in
bad.
double coverage.
It was so
It was
bad.
behind him in double
Well,
coverage.
so a lot of Sam Darnold's passes were behind the receivers too, but yet those are the 2 and 3 quarterbacks, ladies and gentlemen. Those are the 2 and 3 quarterbacks. All right, listen, had a great time. I'm glad you guys tuned in. It is late. It's 2:38. I know Mose and Peachy are cursing me out. They're going to go get some rest. Tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm going to be on 49ers First Takes with Aaron, and we're going to talk about some things, man. So make sure you guys tune in tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It'll be on 49ers First Takes channel. All right, we won't be simulcasting. And then the Wayne Breezy Show will be back Monday at 1 p.m. and Nitty Gritty Niners at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Did I say 2 p.m.? What did I say?
1.
I meant 2 p.m. So it'll be 2 p.m. No. Aaron's show tomorrow is at 2 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, did I say that?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
You did
just
say
making
2
sure.
p.m.
All right. So, guys, man, thank y'all so much, man. Thank you for hitting that like button. Did we miss anything? Yes, we got all these hella super chats. My bad.
And the poll.
And I did a poll too. Oh, I'm tired. All right. You get the super chats. I get the poll.
All right, let's roll them. Roll them up.
Ooh, shoot. My eyes. I can't see. My eyes have seen the
So
glory
we already got
of the
this
coming
one
of the
wrong.
Lord. How are you feeling about tonight's loss to the Chargers? 38% said mid.
That game was so boring. Thanks for the super chat, CJ. Mo's got a look on his face like, damn the Cowboys, though.
Yeah.
I already went through that one.
Yeah.
Then we got one from Jackson Ox. It's my team, so I'm in it for the long haul. I love Mason, but he got to hold on to the ball. Being honest, I'm nervous about this season.
Don't be nervous.
Nah.
We got Brock Purdy.
That's right. And then the next one says, Kyle, not a fucking genius at all.
He's pretty good at play calling, but as far as human beings, he sucks.
Yeah, he's definitely not a player's coach. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Throwback, thank you. In other words, Kyle and Lynch regret trading all those picks after admitting Trey Lance
think
did
about this,
not
Fernando.
work out. I say this because of how Kyle sounded.
I didn't get a chance to hear him sound, and I know you did. I and I can't wait to listen. I don't know if I'll be able to do it tonight because I don't think I'll hear them.
From what I'm reading, it sounded like that they got their ass kicked.
Oh,
And then had to
so
come out and
you talk about the ownership.
Yes.
You train, you gonna train. I got you. Good. They need to be chewed out. Everybody needs to be held fucking accountable. That's my point. That's all I'm asking. Accountability. That's it.
Yep.
That's it. All
Thank
right,
you
guys.
for the super chats. We appreciate it.
We appreciate it, guys. We'll see you on the next one. I just got hungry, and I shouldn't eat because it's 2:38.
For sure.
This is time for me to get up, go to the gym in about 3 hours. All right, guys. We love y'all. Stay faithful, man. Peace. Hey.
Breezy, Mo's Nose. Season 3, Peachy. It's about that time, everybody turn your TVs on. The Mo's Nose, Peachy, Breezy, and Fair to God. They keep it nitty gritty when they bring you 9 to talk. We two gorilla, silverback, nah, silver.
You know it's busting, good discussion, cause we get it in. Every time, you know we grinding, I was 8 to 10. We always play to win. The faithful going hard. It's Wayne, Breezy, Peachy, Mo's Nose, and Fear to God. Let's get it.
Nitty gritty, it's the line is tall. Don't like it, better take a walk. Nitty gritty, it's the line is tall. We outline players up in chalk. Nitty gritty, it's the line is tall. Don't like it, better take a walk. Nitty gritty, it's the line is tall. Nitty gritty, it's the line is tall.